Just about everyone gets the blues during the gray flannel days of winter, but for some, the lack of sunlight can trigger something worse.
In tonight's cover story, Kirk Clyatt shows you what can be done to treat an illness you may not even have realized was real.
Like I said, we do see some physiological changes. They will go off their food. Our Kodiak always does. He'll start leaving a lot more food. So they'll definitely decrease their intake of food. But the most obvious is the Arctic foxes. We get beautiful coat changes. In summer, they're a slate gray color, and in winter they've got a snow white color.
Like the morning's dawn, it's part of life, the change of seasons. As we head towards winter, not only does the weather change, but as the days get shorter and colder, we change. And sometimes it's not a change for the better.
Blah. Stay in the bed. That's the way you feel in the winter. Why do I have to get up? I could be in bed.
Blah. Cold. I just want to stay in the house. I don't really feel like coming out.
Looking back, I realize I've had this all my life, but not to the degree that I have it now as an adult. I've always liked light in the winter, and if I would go into a restaurant, I'd always pick the seat near a window, or if I go into a room that's dark, I'm the first one to open the curtains. So there's this sort of love affair I've had with light. But
Marjorie Centofonte is talking about seasonal affective disorder, or SAD.
I'm in my 50s, and about 5 years ago, it really got to be a problem to the point where I realized there was something going on. It comes on gradually, and there's a sort of fuzziness of the mind, and then I start, stuffing carbohydrates, and then I get just kind of slowed down. That's the hardest thing. You just get so slowed down that getting dressed in the morning seems like too much effort. Just picking out clothes, putting on stockings, all I really want to do is wrap a blanket around me and just go to bed.
The syndrome of depression involves a low mood or an otherwise disturbed mood, as well as disturbances in sleep, appetite, energy, concentration, and one's ability to function in the normal roles of life. When the syndrome persists, when it's not just a daily occurrence, but goes on for weeks at a time, then we call it a syndrome. We call it an illness.
While SAD may have always affected us, it was just 20 years ago that work done by the National Institute of Mental Health led to the recognition of seasonal affective disorder as an official diagnosis.
Maybe in this latitude, 3 to 5% of the population will have a severe seasonal depression.
The further north you go, the greater percentage affected by SAD.
There's maybe 15% of the population in this area that have what's technically known as subsyndromal seasonal affective disorder. And they're not clinically depressed or enough to be seen by a physician or a therapist. They just don't function as well during the winter time.
Lack of sunlight can affect serotonin levels in the brain. Serotonin is a powerful neurotransmitter.
Precursors to serotonin are carbohydrates, tryptophan. So people with the problem sort of instinctively know that they'll feel better, or they eat this stuff and they eat too much of it and they get obese, but they do feel better for a short period of time. Artificial light in most rooms is not bright enough, at least in the short term, to be physiologically active.
BioBright, a Maryland-based company, has products that vary from artificial windows to clocks that are sunrise simulators to light boxes designed specifically to treat SAD.
It varies by individual, but most people need about a half hour of extra light in the morning to help them get through the winter time.
Their most unique product has to be the light visor.
It is quite, of course, versatile, and you could use it if you're exercising at home, perhaps on a treadmill, but most people wouldn't wear it outside. They just use it in their home, maybe while they're eating breakfast or reading the morning paper.
Especially on a gloomy day like this one, there is little doubt that seasonal affective disorder is real. And while most health professionals agree light therapy can help, not everyone agrees what kind of light works best. A Canadian company, SunX Biotechnologies, produces a less intense green light that they claim is just as effective as bright white light.
These are not risk-free treatments. I mean, the light sensitivity is one issue, but people using a light box can sometimes have adverse reactions, for example, becoming hyper. People with a bipolar disorder or manic depressive illness can have mild manias triggered by the use of light treatment.
If you stop, it's like stopping a drug very quickly for me. And I definitely go down in a little hole and don't want to come out of it. And sometimes I know when I've had too much of it because I get a little funny tingling feeling, and that's my sign. And then I know to turn it off. I know it sounds flaky, but it's real, and that's enough of you.
Now, if winter is hard on you, the best thing to do is first talk to your family doctor. Don't try to treat it on your own, but one of the recommended treatments may very well be light therapy.
What about medicine? Does that work at all?
Well, it can be used as a combination treatment of light therapy and medicine. But here again, the thing to do is talk to your family doctor first to find out what works best for you. And of course, come March, April, when the days get longer, we get more sunlight, most people with SAD seem to get better.
Kirk, thank you.
My pleasure.
Coming up tomorrow night in our cover story, more shopping on the internet also means a bigger threat of internet crime. Tomorrow.
When you think of the American space program, you probably think of Houston, Cape Canaveral.
But the scheduled launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery next Saturday will mean a lot of excitement here in Maryland. Kirk Clyatt explains in tonight's cover story, Outer Space Repairs.
For main engine start. We are go for main engine start, T-minus 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery with the Hubble Space Telescope.
The space shuttle may blast off from Florida, but the next mission of the shuttle has been planned and prepared for here in Maryland.
Roger roll, Discovery.
The STOCC is the Space Telescope Operations Control Center. That's where we are in Greenbelt, Maryland at the Goddard Space Flight Center.
Goddard is the home of the Hubble Space Telescope.
Hubble is very complex. It's a very large spacecraft. It weighs about 25,000 pounds. It's got several hundred different components in it, a lot of different subsystems. And when the Hubble is being serviced, we need to, it's like a patient on an operating table, but it's much more complex than that. We have to be watching every vital sign on board Hubble to make sure that things are going right. And if we're having a problem, we want to be able to respond to it quickly so that it doesn't get out of hand.
When Hubble was placed in orbit back in 1990, there was a problem with Hubble's primary mirror. But since it was corrected, the results have been impressive.
The highlight of Hubble has been the Hubble Deep Field. This is where, using the gyros and using the fine guidance sensors that we change out and improve, we locked on to a place in the sky where there was nothing, no stars, nothing could be seen there, and stared at it for 10 days just to see what was there. And it was amazing what we saw. By staring and looking for a long time, we actually looked back in time, and we have a census of galaxies that are relatively new, some that are maybe only 6 billion years old, and some that are that are in the early years of the universe. And the character of those galaxies are very different, whether they're new or old. And it's a major change in the way astronomers think about the universe and its creation.
Hubble is almost halfway through its planned 20-year mission of exploration. And just like your car, it needs maintenance. But there are some key differences.
The astronaut labor charge is a little bit more than what you'll see at your local garage.
Well, it takes literally years to plan one of these missions out in careful detail.
Every second of Discovery's 10-day mission to service the telescope has been carefully planned, especially the 4 spacewalks. That's when most of the work is done.
When you put on the astronaut's gloves, you get a small idea of the training and skill it takes to do tasks that would be simple here on Earth.
Hubble may be high-tech, but at Goddard some rather low-tech methods are used to make the new outer blanket layer that will help protect Hubble from the extreme temperatures of space.
You have another one over here? Oh, all right. And then which way? Turn this way?
It doesn't matter. We just want them we just leave them pointed in so they're
pointed
not hanging
in.
off the edge
Okay,
of the
got
door.
it.
At Goddard, there are full-scale mock-ups of both the shuttle and of Hubble.
They're here so we can build our repair material and build it precisely so that it doesn't impact any other operations that might happen. Like if we want to open the doors, we obviously want to be able to do that without pulling a tool out or making any other changes.
Because of the failure of 4 of Hubble's 6 gyros, the spacecraft is now in zero gyro safe mode and unable to do scientific work. Replacing the gyros will be one of the key goals of the mission. When Hubble is working correctly, it is able to transmit data back to Earth equivalent to a set of encyclopedias every second.
This is called the pistol grip tool, PGT. People who watched the second servicing mission to Hubble may have seen it. People who watched the assembly of the space station on maybe the NASA channel may have seen it.
When you're working over 300 miles above the Earth, your tools have to work.
You can't go out to the hardware store and get a part for it. So it has to work the first time and every time. These dials here change the torque and the speed. It's set for 5 foot-pounds. It stopped. Stopped exactly at 4.8 foot-pounds. Okay, we're working with a commercial company right now to transfer the way this works, the computer technology, into a commercial tool. And this tool itself, while it's computer controlled and it's for space, if you did not use military components, if you used commercial components and didn't have the redundancies this tool has, we can now sell this for a comparable price to a commercial tool.
The Hubble Space Telescope is a $6 billion project. Even though the cost is high, so have been the results.
As humans, we've always wondered about the heavens and the stars, the origins of ourselves, our planet, our solar system, our galaxy that we live in, and where has it come from and where is it going, and what's its ultimate fate. And that is a principal objective of the Hubble Space Telescope, is to answer that question.
Over the next 10 years, with the help of Hubble, it'll be interesting to find out how close we come to the answer to that question. Now, if you'd like up-to-the-minute information on Service Mission 3A as launch time approaches, you can log on to our website at WBFF45.com and click on the Sightseeing section. You can find all the information you need right there.
I'm not entirely comfortable with the fact that they're letting you touch so much of that stuff.
That was just the demo model.
Okay.
So if we don't hear one of the astronauts go, what is this and which way does it go, like you said?
I just needed a little more training before they actually send me up into space.
Expensive wrench, huh?
Yeah, really, that wrench that you saw there that I was using, that is about to put it on your Christmas list between $250,000 and $300,000. Wow. But it's guaranteed to work, and it works in outer space.
I would hope so.
We need one, right?
That's right. Hang on to it.
Kirk.
Thank you, Kirk. A terrible crime outside of Philadelphia. A little boy is set on fire.
We will have that story ahead on Fox 45 News at 10, and in health news, a possible new cancer.
What's that one guy?
Thanks for that live report in those places where no news would be good news
That's
tonight.
right. And not much news in the weather department either, except good news.
That's very thankful with all the people jammed down at the Inner Harbor tonight. Meteorologist Kirk Clyatt is downtown at the Science Center with Deb Weiner.
That's right.
Hi, guys. You know, a couple days ago, we really worried about rain tonight, but now you couldn't ask for a better night.
This is really working out well. We've got warmer temperatures than we had over the Christmas holidays, and that little front that we thought might bring some rain, it's out of here. It's gone. Let's show you the way the current conditions are here at the Inner Harbor. 39 degrees, calm winds. We're glad about that because we're going to be launching fireworks here off the roof for the Maryland Science Center. Let's show you the entire world where, as of 7 o'clock, half of the world will be into the new year. So almost half of the world, it's already the year 2000. We take you back to one of the cradles of civilization. They had some showers and mild conditions in Greece, in Italy, Rome, 40 degrees, 35 in Spain with clear skies. Chance of some showers moving into the north of France. Some haze and conditions in London at 40 degrees where the new year begins. A quick trip across to the new world. And we make landfall in Newfoundland, come down to New York City. You've heard of that place, haven't you? I think probably about 32 to greet the new year. And they actually had some snow showers this morning. But really, there's no place better to be than right here in Maryland for the last day of the millennium. We'll take it. Temperatures 14 degrees above normal. All right, that's history. We'll let you know what the weather future is as we head into the year 2000 live from the Inner Harbor coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Kirk. Well, a reminder now of some things that Deborah mentioned earlier. Several streets in the downtown area.
Dave's bowl games and also more from the Ravens. That's it for now. Back to you.
Thank you, Bruce. Time for our final look at the forecast.
Meteorologist Kirk Clyatt is standing by live at the Inner Harbor with Deborah Wiener. Kirk and Deborah.
All right, guys, it's beautiful now, but what about, Kirk, the key hour of midnight?
Well, it's a good thing it's happening tonight, not last night, all the fireworks. Let's go ahead and show you Maryland over the last 24 hours, and you'll get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Last night at this time, we were dealing with clouds, as you'll hopefully see. There they are.
Yes.
But look what happened during the day. This is what we were worried about, Deborah, bringing us some rain, but it got out of here a little early, and now the entire state just beautiful. In fact, across the entire country, very nice. A little weak front in the southeast and some rain showers in the Pacific Northwest. They've been socked in for weeks now. But for the start of the new year, the new millennium, really quiet weather is what we've got. Here's what's going to happen over the next 24 hours. We get a front that's going to try to push down in our direction and cool us off as we head into the new week. And then another one maybe bring us some showers early in the week, but not much to work with as far as moisture goes. So we have got mild southerly winds preceding the front. Here's your forecast for tonight. Clear and cool. You'll definitely need a jacket and some gloves, but any bitter cold weather, it's just not going to happen. For New Year's Day, mostly sunny, mild temperatures in the 50s. In fact, on Sunday, the Eastern Shore, Ocean City area could be looking at temperatures in the 60s. But then Monday and Tuesday, a few showers, but any real cold conditions or even seasonable weather doesn't return until Wednesday. So that's some great news. And you know what? If you're Y2K complacent, just come down here to the Inner Harbor. That will get you excited about the new year. It is fantastic here.
It is. Kirk, thanks. That's all for now from Baltimore 2000. We'll see you throughout the night on Fox 45.
I like that. Y2K complacent.
We are not. In fact, some spectacular sights from around the world already. More to come throughout the evening, including right here in Baltimore.
Reister's Town, I'm Jeff Abel. Back to you. Craig?
Some disappointed gamblers, I think.
Well, if that's the worst casualty tonight, we'll be thankful. For some, yes, it is all business tonight, but for many, many more, this is a one-of-a-kind night of celebration.
Deborah Wiener and meteorologist Kirk Clyatt are at the Maryland Science Center with more on the fun.
There is so much to this night. There are astrologers, tarot card reading, ice skating, a mask parade coming up in a matter of minutes, and so much for the family that we sent our resident big kid out to check it all out.
That's right. You know, my birth certificate may not agree, but I'm really only like 12 years old. And of course, this Millennium celebration, it's fun for kids of all ages. It's happening right now. The city, as part of the festivities, is sponsoring the Kids Countdown tent. And tonight, as we speak, it's filled with storytellers, magicians, and more.
Well, you know, it only happens every 1,000 years. So already kids are going to be the special kids of the millennium. And I think it's great that Baltimore has found the time and the space to throw a party for Baltimore's kids.
The stories I tell will have friendship, being responsible, have a little bit of mystery in it, some singing, some drumming, and just some fun.
It's the 20th millennium. 20th century. What am I talking about?
It doesn't matter whether you know what you're talking about or not. As part of the festivities there in the tent, you can also do all kinds of arts and crafts. Look, I even had my caricature done there. So you can have your caricature done for free in the kids' tent, but you got to hurry because it's all over at 11:45 tonight, because that's the time you need to come out to see the incredible fireworks show that's going to be taking place. Now, how's the weather if you haven't left the house yet this evening? It's pretty good. Current conditions here at the Science Center, 33 degrees with light winds, and that's good news. We'll have much more, including your complete forecast as we head into the year 2000, coming up on Fox 45 News at 10.
Thank you, Kirk. The Millennium celebrations do not end here. The new century is already here in many parts of the world. We'll show you some spectacular parties ahead on Fox 45 News at 10.
Possibility of terrorism, the safety of the hundreds of thousands of people gathered here, but so far everything has gone off without a hitch. Police say there hasn't been one incident. Live in Times Square, I'm Sean Calebs. Deborah, back to you.
Sean, thank you, and I'm here now with meteorologist Kirk Clyatt. Can you imagine being in New York tonight?
Unbelievable. It's pretty much unbelievable to be here in Baltimore in the Inner Harbor. I don't think I've ever seen more lights. The city look as alive as it is tonight. I think a lot of us have many, many things to be proud of this evening.
I agree. There's an energy here that we've never felt in this city.
That is so true. It has changed so much over the last 20 years, and we head into the new millennium with a great fresh hope and fresh start.
And a new mayor who will join us a little bit later before his countdown. Mayor Martin O'Malley will be back, and we will be back throughout the countdown. The night's just beginning at Baltimore 2000. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Deb. We'll be checking back in with you throughout the night, almost as much as the excitement and anticipation.
Come the year 2000.
The new century is going to be as exciting as we make it.
West Baltimore, John Rydell, Fox 45 News at 10.
Well, no doubt the thousands of people at the Inner Harbor are thankful for this mild weather.
Deborah Weiner and meteorologist Kirk Clyatt are at the Maryland Science Center enjoying this great night in Baltimore. Deborah and Kirk?
Well, Jen and Craig, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm not even cold. I mean, it is beautiful tonight.
You do. If you haven't come out yet, you definitely need to have some gloves here.
Gloves would help.
And a jacket, so it is cold out.
But it's mild.
It's a lot better than it was over the Christmas holidays,
Yes.
that's for sure. We're dropping down into temperatures in the teens. But can you realize this at this moment? Most of the world is in the 21st century.
And we're stuck.
Here in the 20th century,
Yep.
at least for another hour and a few minutes. Now, of course, we had the report, not a lot of travel actually happening right now, but if you are starting the new millennium with some travel, here's a quick look at selected travel forecasts for major destinations across the country. If you're staying home in Maryland to enjoy the new year, I'll have your complete forecast coming up next.
Now, not later. Heritage, now you drive.
Now, Emmy Award-winning meteorologist Kirk Clyatt with the forecast.
Live from the rooftop of the Maryland Science Center. In life, timing is so important, and it timed out very well. Worried about a few showers. The front that we were concerned about, it's gone. It's out of here. It's allowed, though, the temperature to fall. Let's take a look. It's down now almost to freezing, 33 degrees. Thankfully, the winds are calm for the fireworks. Let's give you an idea of the day that we had. 33 degrees is our low temperature. Today, the final day of the millennium, 55 the high. Wow, well above normal. And our daytime overnight low temperature was at 40 degrees. Now, most of the world, it is now Y2K, the year 2000. And just to give you an idea of some of the weather that people throughout the rest of the world were enjoying, we take you back to some of the beginnings of civilization into Greece, where the weather today, they had 50 degrees with some showers, 40 degrees in Rome, Spain. You get an idea of the clear skies in Madrid with 35, 45 degrees and a few showers approaching the north coast of France. In England, where so much of our history came from, they were looking at some haze and 40 degrees, a quick trip across the Atlantic coming down the Newfoundland coast. New York City, they had some snow this morning from that front I mentioned, but thankfully it's gone. Here in Maryland, though, you really could not ask for a finer night to say goodbye to 1999. Here's what I mean. Look at all the clouds last night. That's why we had a mild overnight low, and here's why it's getting a little chilly. All the clouds have gone. The stars are with us, and across the country for this time of the year, I mean, we are well into winter. There's really very little snow except across the Great Lakes. Some rain in the Pacific Northwest. They've probably had the worst weather in the country the last couple of weeks. Fog and rain. Here is what we're dealing with. High pressure in control. That high will slide to the south of us, as you'll see. So we'll keep a southerly flow in place for tomorrow. And the high will fortunately keep that front from making its way into the area until the first part of the week. So we're looking at a pretty nice weekend with temperatures in western Maryland could be as warm as 55 degrees in Garrett County and the low 60s in Ocean City. In the more immediate future for tonight, clear, cool, below freezing by dawn. For New Year's Day, mostly sunny, mild, with temperatures in the 50s, and your 5-day forecast looks pretty good. Here's what we're forecasting for the weekend. No rain to start the new year, but maybe some showers as we kind of return to reality on Monday and Tuesday. So one thing's for sure, if you're Y2K complacent, a night like this, festivities like what's happening here at the Inner Harbor will certainly change that. It is a beautiful night to enjoy. Craig and Jennifer?
I like the new millennium forecast. Looks great. Thank you, Kirk. Well, there is news other than the new millennium today. A week-long hostage situation aboard an Indian jetliner takes a turn. What
you mean? That's it for this abbreviated edition of Sports Unlimited. We return you now to our special live coverage of Baltimore's New Year's Eve celebration. Good night, everybody.
This is the party, the place to be, and Kirk's gonna dance. Nah, we'll be right back.
The holiday rush is almost over. So Oldsmobile, Crane Highway, Glen Burnie.
The excitement is building.
Indeed it is. We're a little more than an hour away from the new century, the biggest party of the year taking place at Baltimore's Inner Harbor.
We go back once again to Deborah Wiener. Deb and Kirk.
All right, it's definitely getting a little louder here.
Yes, the excitement is building, and Greg started is where things are even more exciting.
I know, he's really in the midst of the party. Let's check back with Greg Starter, who is live at the Harbor Place Amphitheater. How's it going, Greg?
Okay, there you go. You're looking at a live picture of the festivities taking place here at the amphitheater. You know, this band has been on for a couple of hours now. It's been quite a night here in Baltimore as we come back to the live camera here at the amphitheater. More coverage later on. Back to you.
Greg, thank you.
You know, my resolution is do more dancing. You promised them I would. Here
You know,
I am.
and you know what my resolution is? I'm going to get some rhythm. All right, we'll see y'all later throughout the hour from 11 to 12. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe and happy New Year's Eve.
Good night.
The Giants head to Big D for a battle with their bitter rivals, the Cubs.
Largest fireworks display ever.
I wish we had been down there for that last night. Instead of just here in the studio, tonight we take a look at some of the highlights of last night's big show.
16, 15, 14, 13, 10, 9, 8.
We're having a blast.
3, 2, 1. Baltimore 2000!
Spectacular. Looking at it on video, you can imagine what it must have been like down there.
Fantastic.
After the smoke from those fireworks cleared, we had the fog roll into the new century.
That's right. Meteorologist Kirk Clyatt is in the Sky Center with a first look at the rest of the weekend. Kirk.
I fortunately had a chance to be down there, and it was unbelievable. Amazing. Short daylight hours, light winds is what we had and continue to have. A southerly flow, so that brought in all the fog, and more fog is a possibility. In fact, it's a good bet. Hopefully, though, not quite as thick as this morning. Now, if you slept through it, I'll show you what it was like and take a look into the new week as we begin to return to reality. Still a lot of clouds, but it's mild in the city for this time of the year. 37 degrees, your complete forecast in minutes. Fox 45 News at 10.
Also ahead, Millennium celebrations aren't limited.
Because of a bomb threat, a search turned up nothing, and the festivities, as you can see, went on as planned. I did not want to hear that little sound effect one more time.
Recovering from that train-like sound.
Yeah, that was worse than anything I heard all last night. Okay.
Well, we've got some warm but foggy weather here in the new year. Kirk Clyatt standing by.
That's for sure. You know, New York may be a bigger city, but it would have been tough to top what we had last night here in Baltimore. I think it gave new meaning to the term bombs bursting in air. Talk about losing your hearing. Deborah Wiener and I, we were right next to those fireworks going off. Fortunately, Mother Nature, not many fireworks going off from her across the country. If you are heading back to reality, maybe you're visiting here in Maryland, heading home or heading out of town, here's a quick look at forecasts for major travel cities for tomorrow. I'll let you know what to expect as we head into, can you believe it, Monday and back to work or school. Coming up next here on Fox 45.
Heritage Honda. Now you drive.
Now, Emmy Award-winning meteorologist Kirk Clyatt with a forecast.
Now, we had some sunshine in the forecast today. See, there it is. Early this morning, you just had to view it through, I don't know, about a 1,000-foot layer of fog. The fog because we had a lot of moisture in the atmosphere and the temperature dropped down. If you left that New Year's Eve party last night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, you might have been scraping the ice off. And then as the temperature fell further, this was the result. Fortunately, not much traffic early in the morning. Let's go ahead and show you temperatures from midnight, the entire century worth of temperatures here. And it's very interesting because here you go. 8 o'clock in the morning down to 25 degrees. Temperature's pretty consistent across the state, but watch what happens by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Cleared out in Ocean City. It was 19 degrees warmer in Ocean City this afternoon than in Baltimore. It was even 6 degrees warmer when you get in the western portion of the state in Hagerstown. And here again, we are cool. We are now 11 degrees cooler than they are on the eastern shore. Looking back to 1999, It was a warm year, not quite as warm as 1998, but when you average it all out, it was almost 1 degree above normal, which is significant over the course of an entire year. The average high, 66.2, the average low, 45.5. The hottest day, I remember it well, because that month of July, our average high was 91.4 degrees, 102 on July the 5th, and 7 degrees on January the 6th. Snowfall well below normal, and who would have believed it during the summer, but we ended the year with a rainfall surplus. Now, for this day, with all the clouds and fog, we were still above normal, but to just 46 degrees. We will boost that up for tomorrow, that's for sure. And watch out, though, for the fog again, just a 1 degree spread between the temperature and dew point with calm winds and high pressure. So expect fog to start forming again soon. The upper Midwest, rain in Wisconsin in January. That's what's happening. Just a little snow in the Dakotas, and that's diminishing. But this is our next chance of getting any rain, but it won't be here for a while. And it's mild because there's plenty of cold air, but the upper level pattern is keeping it blocked way up in northern Canada and Alaska. Some sections of central Alaska temperatures like 50 below zero. Chicago with some clouds, but just to the east, some record high temperatures. For instance, South Bend, Indiana, up to 50 degrees. Here in Baltimore, the fog is closing back in, but still surface visibility's not all that bad. Here's the upper level winds at 30,000 feet. Notice where they're coming from. Coming from the southwest, not from the northwest. So there's no way any real cold air is going to start to move on into the picture. Here is what's going to happen over the next 24 hours. We've still got high pressure in control, so that's going to keep a southerly flow. Freezing rain, haven't seen that for a while, but fortunately it is well to our north in New York State and in Ontario. A little cooler once you get back into the Dakotas, but still for this time of the year, some very warm temperatures. Tonight, not as cold as last night because of the clouds and the fog moving in. Light winds for tomorrow, morning clouds and fog, then some sunshine in the afternoon, but we could be enjoying the kind of temperatures they had in Ocean City today. Temperatures up to 60 degrees, maybe by Thursday a change, but that pattern is going to be in place. That rain that's in Wisconsin tonight may be moving in for Tuesday, but really no big deal. Much better weather than we had last year because, for instance, on the 2nd of January last year, had a high of 26 degrees, so.
And some, do we have a little snow or ice at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, it wasn't as nice as what we've got now. And, you know, we haven't had a day off this century. I'm ready to take some time off tomorrow.
We were worried about you last night. Did you get singed by any of the
it was close.
Fallout from the
fireworks? We were very close. It was absolutely spectacular, but with calm winds, thankfully, most of it went up. And we could watch it, kind of dodge it as it was coming down. A great, great show at the Inner Harbor.
Get hazard pay for that?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you, Kirk. In tonight's Health Check report, some disturbing news about
library, that one library. We have some banquets in there. I think that was not the Pratt Library. Well, it's not the Pratt Library, it's the other library. It's down there by that. It's actually
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah. Well, as long as I remember where the toast was, so I could find you if we had it by the toast. Yeah, I wish the major difference here, besides the better landscaping, was they had the little metal fronts, the black metal fronts.
Yes.
And they might have actually shot it that way, but it's too bad now. Because they had those happen.
Okay.